tapendra 7. No woman can call herself free who does not control her own body. Damini, while growing up in a village, dreamed of becoming a pilot and was fascinated whenever she saw aeroplane flying over her village. When she turned 13, she was married to an adult male. Under family obligations, she conceived a child within a year of marriage, and for preference to a male child, she was forced to give birth back to back 4 times. Due to child marriage and early child bearing repeatedly, her body was exploited, her sexuality was taken away by force at the age when her brothers were going to school and working for their dreams to fulfill. Damini was occupied in childbearing and then child rearing, all her dreams shattered. Instead of becoming a pilot, she was now made Kulvadhu of husband's family, and her life was confined within walls of domestic courts, nurturing child and obeying command of patriarchy. Cases of Damini demonstrate that no woman can call herself free who does not control her own body. In our society, there are millions of other Damini who lost their dreams of and instead of freedom are chained down to domestic walls. Before we move ahead, let us examine what makes a woman free. Human rights are the core element of human existence, as they are fundamental for life with respect and dignity. Without exercising human right, no human can call us free, be it man or woman. Right over one's own body is the most fundamental human right, as this is the base for self-determination, self-assertion, self-control, dignity, a life to be called as free, and where a woman can have dreams and equally able to fulfill those dreams without any break, opposition or change. How control over her body makes her free. She can think for herself, make decisions based in her own interest, and pursue a life where any impact on her life must be originated from her own actions rather than another individual controlling her body, life and choices. She can choose her career path, job profile, marriage partner, age of marriage, when to separate if situation demands, when to conceive a child, and fully participates in a mainstream societal activities. Let us examine what are the challenges to build bodily autonomy of a woman, what hinders her free will. Human when born gets sex by nature, which is a natural process, but social evaluation of these natural differences, attaching values of superiority or inferiority, creates gender dimension, which feminists argue that is a complex cultural and mental construct. Patriarchy is that ideology, a set of social structure and practices where men dominate, oppress, and control women's production labor, reproduction, sexuality, consumption, lifestyle, and her life choices. Different roles are assigned to different sexes, called up masculine and feminine roles. These feminine roles begins controlling women's physical and mental autonomy, where her parents, siblings, family treat her in a different way, and she is continuously made to think, behave, act, decide in a feminine way, and as per cultural notions, rewards and punishment methods are used to make her behave in a feminine way. Thus, she loses her free will and ideological inculcation. Indoctrination makes her believe that her own body does not belong to her, rather it must be preserved for her husband. Values like Stri Dharma and Pativrata reinforces this control over her free will. Let us examine her loss over bodily autonomy from age time scale. Before birth, sex selective abortion is done. If she survives, female infanticide follows. Amartya Sen call it missing woman. After this, she is denied education, health facility for being a woman. Then she is forced into child marriage or early age marriage, made to conceive child before physical maturity, a repetitive child bearing, domestic violence, marital rape, which drastically impacts her reproductive health, and under chains of patriarchy, she loses her free will. Joya Hassan calls it reproductive slavery. This might be case of a poor woman, but what about middle class women who is provided autonomy to her family in her personal life. Does she really have control over her body? A working woman faces sexual harassment at workplace, faces invisible glass ceiling which sometimes demand bodily favors for progress in career. She has to come home early from office due to security concerns. NCRB report 2021 says 77 rape cases daily in India, which lowers her efficiency at workplace and restricts her choice of occupation. Coming now to her labor, which is of hard work done by her to survive and thrive. In household, a non-working woman, non-professional job, does all domestic chores, nurtures child, yet her labor goes unrecognized and unpaid. Anau Klee argues that woman is branded as housewife and her dignity attached to domestic work is taken away. All her bodily labor goes in vain under social notions and norms. Since she does not control her body, therefore she lacks authority in family. She is not asked while major decisions making is done by male members. Not only her own free will, she loses control over free will of her children as father decides where to send child. And see this comment. For career, when to marry daughter, with whom and at what age. However, even most affluent educated professional women are not saved from this structure of lack of bodily autonomy. In our societies, values like materialism, consumerism, self-gratification has led to commodification of women, where her body is seen as a commodity and bought and sold in market. Example, sex workers, prostitution, legal in Thailand, item dance in movies, and pornography. In the political domain, less representation of women has also played role in her lack of control over body. In India, only 14% MPs are women, which is very low compared to developed countries. Low representation hindered gender-sensitive policies and laws. Having discussed various dimensions and factors, let us now examine how can we change this situation where woman can have control over her body so that she can be called as free woman and decide for herself. Change begins at home. A dogmatic, superstitious, prejudiced, stereotypical society can be changed with inculcations of ethical, moral, gender-sensitive values into child during socialization. Parents need to treat both son-daughter equally and without discrimination. Parents can act as a role model where both parents treat each other equally with dignity. This is classical conditioning which can mold mind of a child into a human, gender-sensitive nature. Secondly, at school, teachers have crucial role in promoting gender equality, where sports, activity, debates, discussions plays, curriculum assembly plays would play critical role where children learn to respect dignity and decisions of a woman. Women's movement of 19th century contribute to self-determination of women in pre-independent and now constitution enshrines values like equality, liberty, non-discrimination, justice, social, economic and fraternity. It is our fundamental duty to respect women's dignity and also duty of state to secure social order where women enjoys equal rights, civil liberties. With the Nalsa case, we have entered into domain of third gender where bodily autonomy and self-determination of LGBTQ community has also come under ambit of fundamental rights. Women empowerment is the agenda and central theme of government, and to ensure it we need equal representation of women in politics, economy, mainstream societal activities, gender sensitive laws and policies and constitutional morality, compassionate administration, liberal society, human values like dignity, justice, non-discrimination will ensure that Damini is not thrown into reproductive slavery talked by Joya Hassan. Rather, she would be able to achieve her dreams of being a pilot, just like Kalpana Chawla, Sunita Williams reached to space. Every woman has right to decide, choose best for them, and this will come only with her control over her own body, which goes into self-determination and bodily autonomy as a basic human value among all societies across time and space. And sexual reality is good, but you are struggling to convert your idea into analysis. Opening upper dimension does not always require example or stories. You should broaden your thinking ability and construct holistic paragraph. Need to work upon critical dimensions and interlinkages.